I didn't see it coming 250 metres out, but he must have taken a little look across there, got a sniff, and away he went for it. Fantastic racing. Can't wait for that final.
It was so exciting, I didn't see the time, actually. I know they did 3:32 through halfway, but it'd be nice to check this heat against the next one.
Well, now we're going to find out who's going to be joining those three into the A final. Lining up on the start is the second AB semi-final for the lightweight men's single sculls. Looking at Italy there in lane one, that's Jose Casiraghi, who's the under-23 silver medalist of 2008, gold medalist in 2009, but is starting to get up onto the senior scene this year. In lane two, Michael Schmid of Switzerland, second in Lucerne this year, so silver medalist at the World Cup in Lucerne. Just missed out on the medals at Euro Champs in Seville earlier this year, though. Lane three, Pedro Fraga, certainly one to watch. First in Lucerne, first in Eton, and bronze medalist in the double in Sydney. So he's certainly been doing well this year, holding the flag for his nation, as he's the only Portuguese rep at this regatta. Just quickly take you through the rest of the runners and riders. Jonathan Koch in lane four representing Germany. We've got Alan Armamenta Vega of Mexico in five, and Jamie Kirkwood of Great Britain in six on the near side of this shot. Good clean start from all the crews there, but the field's starting to spread out after just the first 100 metres, with Kirkwood and Casiraghi taking the lead.
Yeah, I mean, this semi-final, I would say, as we look at Jamie Kirkwood there, he's had a fantastic season, the young British sculler. Really come on, and of course he's the spare man for the lightweight double scull of Chambers and Chambers, but he's had a fast start again. We've seen this lane, near side lane 6, with the Bulgarian Vasiliev, who faded actually, but Kirkwood has gone out, perhaps not quite so dramatically as the Bulgarian, but at the moment I think the favourites in the centre lanes, Fraga, hanging back a little bit, and he's going to want to come through perhaps in the second quarter.
Well, we've seen him earlier this year show that he can race from behind and still get out in front and win, so he's a length behind at the moment. But Kirkwood, he's out in front, keen for a place in the A final. He's yet to medal, but he's managed to make the A finals at Lucerne and Sydney World Cups this year.
Yes, he's sculling very well out in front there. I think he looks quite comfortable. A little bit different to the Belarusian in the first race, who really blasted out of the blocks. And, you know, he took his chances to get himself into the race, and unfortunately burnt out by the end there. But certainly Kirkwood looking very strong and quite comfortable there in the lead at the moment.
Coached by Darren Whiter, who's the doubles coach, of course. He looked after Purchase and Hunter, now looking after the Chambers brothers. So the Leander man, well, I think Jonathan Koch from Germany is just going to go through and take the lead in this second quarter. I mean, he is the class sculler in this field along with Fraga.
He's certainly quick. He posted the fastest time out of all of the quarterfinals, doing 7:03, and really great to see that. But Pedro Fraga's going to have to get himself established back into this race to make sure that he goes through to the A final. He's currently sitting in fifth.
Yes, this is what we saw from the two winning scullers, or the two top scullers from the first semi. Sitting back further in the field, particularly Stephenson, really just quite measured with his race plan, and certainly then coming through in the middle section of the race, and I would expect that probably Fraga will start to move through as we get closer to the 1,000-metre mark.
Nice pick up there from Jamie Kirkwood, but Fraga, interesting in the quarterfinals. His quickest 500 metres out of the 4x500 was actually the third one. He rode a 1:46.12, and that was a tenth of a second quicker than his first 500. So that's what this guy can do. They all know that. You know, the coaches will have analysed that. And Jonathan Koch, from Mainzer Ruderverein, his coach, Lars Kolterman, will have told him, you know, get some distance in the second quarter, because Fraga's going to come back to you in the third.
Yeah, all preparing for that. I mean, Sarah, what would your coach say to you if you were up against somebody who's renowned for being so quick in that third 500 metres? Go out, get in front and react to any pressure from him later on? Or?
Yeah, I think that's always, I mean, you're always wanting to play to your own strengths, and every rower, of course, has them, but certainly if you know that you're up against someone who's got a very, very strong third 500, it's always better to be slightly ahead, controlling the race and being able to react to anything that you see coming. But, I mean, at the end of the day, it's about what you can do and executing your race plan as well as you can. But certainly these smaller boats being a bit slower, there is more room for these tactics and to know your opposition well and what they're capable of. Certainly here, Koch is moving out to a canvas lead now.
One of the scullers we should talk about, and really there's a renaissance now in Swiss rowing with their coach, their new coach Simon Cox, and Michael Schmidt, the Swiss sculler, over there on lane 2 on the far side, second place in this event at Lucerne, and Kirkwood knows that. If you know Kirkwood is going to get through to the final, he has got to beat the Swiss, because for my money, it's going to be Fraga and Koch take places 1 and 2. But the Swiss is moving through nicely, and I think, you know, it's a young sculler. The Swiss team is a young team, and they're really one of the teams that are on the up here.
It's amazing that Pedro Fraga can do that, though. I mean, it's so demoralising being at the back of the field where you've got nobody to look at. You're looking over empty water, and you don't quite know how far in front of you the competition is, but it shows immense confidence and dedication that he can pull through from so far behind, and he's now almost barrel for barrel with the leading 2 scullers in this race.
Yes, it's almost these 3 scullers all the way across the course. I mean, I think they're sort of really starting to cement this lead now, and the top 3 places will go through. And so at this point, a win isn't the most important thing. It's getting through to the next round. And certainly Kirkwood does seem to be paying somewhat for his blast out of the blocks that we saw a bit earlier, and the Swiss sculler is moving himself firmly into 3rd place. Yeah,
well, Kirkwood finished 4th in Lucerne. I thought it was a great scull by the British sculler to do that, but you know, on home water in Lucerne, the Swiss Michael Schmidt really did a great job with the silver medal, but Koch, for my money, has really staked claim for this race. Whether Fraga's going to want to sprint. Oh, there we see the sprint through. Look at that second half performance.
They're going for it. It's really pride of place this now, isn't it? Because those 3 scullers have cemented clear water lead over the rest of the field, and they're coming to the last 400, so it's quite the battle there, but Pedro Fraga's showing his calibre in this last 500 metres now, pulling out in front of Jonathan Koch.
In fact, Koch, I mean, he didn't make the A final in Lucerne. He was only 7th. Fraga won it, and the Swiss was 2nd. But look at him there. He's real. I was having a coffee just yesterday, just before he caught the bus in the evening. He's such a cool, laid-back guy, Pedro Fraga. Really lovely to talk to. Great English as well. And beautiful timing around there at the front end.
He pulled out a full length. Amazing finishing burn. But now there's a bit of a battle as Jamie Kirkwood is coming up on the near side, trying to catch up with Jonathan Koch. Not sure he's got overlap, but last 50 metres to go, and I don't think anything's going to change with this final lineup. Although a valiant effort from Jamie Kirkwood to get back. He's got overlap, but just too little too late to get into the A final. So we see Michael Schmidt, Pedro Fraga and Jonathan Koch go through to the A final of the lightweight men's single sculls.
Absolutely amazing turn of speed there for Pedro Fraga. I mean, that's what we saw earlier in the week, and he's certainly very much shown that and impressed us once again, coming through in the 3rd 500 to take the win in this 2nd semi-final.